Will the world's most famous golfer be happier with a fellow top athlete than he was with a supermodel? We're about to find out. Tiger Woods and champion skier Lindsey are the latest it couple in sports. But do star athletes really have a better shot at lasting love? Let's ask psychotherapist Rachel Sussman, author of The Breakup Bible, the smart woman's guide to healing from a breakup or divorce, and Jordan Schultz, sports columnist for the Huffington Post. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Morning.
Rachel, let me start with you. I mean, we've seen these kind of relationships before. Do they actually work?
Well, I think the more a couple has in common, the greater the likelihood that they're going to make it, because similarity breeds familiarity, and we trust people that we're familiar with.
Jordan, you've interviewed, I guess, Lindsey
Yes.
before. Does it surprise you she wasn't a little scared off by Tiger's past?
It does. You know, she's coming out of a divorce. She's still 28 years old. Tiger's 37. This is a situation where both athletes are very familiar with one another, like Rachel said, but it is surprising to me, I must say.
Does competition enter into this? Because in some cases you've got athletes that are even competing. Danica Patrick, for example, her husband is a racer who races on the same track she does.
Yeah, Danica's against Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and you look at a situation where not only are they racing against each other, but I asked Danica recently, right before the Daytona 500, would she consider, I basically asked her, would she consider putting him into the wall?
Which we all agreed was a great question.
Which I don't think she particularly appreciated it, but nonetheless, she said she would give him the respect that he deserves. Perhaps maybe that wouldn't be the case with other racers. I don't know, but that's really rare that you have two racers competing against each other that are together.
How did she look when you asked that question?
It was actually over the phone, so technically I don't know, but
she clicked.
Her response was, "What do you mean?"
Interesting. Well, that's an interesting point, Rachel, because everybody who has this really competitive drive, especially if they're playing in the same field,
Right.
How do you deal with that competitive drive if all of a sudden you're losing and you're losing to your loved one?
Well, a little bit of competition can be good and can be fun in a relationship, but I think with athletes, a lot of them are brought up with a team mentality, and part of being in a good relationship, you have to feel like you're on each other's team. So it's the balance of the teamwork and the competition.
In some cases, you're talking about athletes who are actually in different sports,
Yeah.
which can mean also that they're spending a great deal of time apart.
Sure.
So how do you support that?
Long-distance relationships are hard. So if you want that relationship to last, you have to have rules. You need to know when you can reach each other on the telephone or be FaceTiming or Skyping. You have to have a kind of a package of how you're going to stay together.
We were just looking at a picture of Rory McIlroy and his tennis star girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's difficult when the two people are traveling on the road. There are those temptations.
Yeah, if you look at a golfer like Rory McIlroy or Tiger Woods, Tiger played 27 events last year. He'll probably play 30 plus this year. And it's not just the events. You go into a city or a town, you get there on a Monday after finishing up on a Sunday, you play a couple practice rounds. By Thursday, you're playing the tournament. You don't get done until Sunday, then you go to the next city. Very rare do you have time for one another, let alone yourself. It's a difficult transition. I definitely would have to say that.
Do these relationships traditionally last? I mean, you've got Andre Agassi and Steffi Graf, which is probably one of the more. I mean, I remember walking into a Starbucks out in Westchester, and there we were sitting with their kids, and I was like, "Wow, this actually looks like it's working," you know. But
that's a rare circumstance.
It is.
I really do. And Lindsey and Tiger, obviously still pretty young, but we've had other athletes that have gotten together and lasted very, very short times. Tiger has always been a very private guy. And I think him coming out is a very calculated move. I also think it's a sensible move. But it's been a very, very short time. It's also right on the heels of Elin Nordegren, his ex-wife, saying that she is now in a relationship. So interesting timing.
When you say calculated, are you suggesting then this might be for show for the press?
You know what? Let's put it this way. The paparazzi's not happy because it's devaluing their photographs now. And I think Tiger's always been really, really calculated with the press, at least in the past few years since the scandal came out.
So, Rachel, what do you think the prognosis for this relationship is?
Well, we shall see. But I'm sure we'll all be watching.
You definitely will, yes.
Yeah, Rachel Sussman, Jordan Schultz, thanks so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.